TikTok just released its React Native killer. Uh-oh.
We've all been waiting for. A brand new game-changing, blazingly fast JavaScript framework just hit the timeline. Yesterday, ByteDance, the company that gave the world the gift of social media crack via TikTok, gave the world another gift in the form of an open-source, multi-platform app development framework called Lynx. Developers can throw fossilized relics like React Native and Flutter in the garbage, and rewrite their native mobile apps from scratch with shiny new Rust-based tooling and a high-performance, dual-threaded UI rendering engine. Like React Native, it empowers web developers to build shoddy iOS and Android apps with JavaScript, but Lynx claims to achieve smoother, pixel-perfect UIs and faster launch times compared to other cross-platform tools. That's a big claim.
My first project I did was on React Native, and it was kind of rough. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had a team of, 5 people working on it. It was awkward, to say the least, working on it. We got the app working, though.
Video will try out Lynx and find out if it's a legit React Native killer. It is March 6, 2025, and you're watching the Code Report. Lynx is not just another half-baked GitHub project written by a 19-year-old on prescription amphetamines. It's not the terminal browser with the same name, but rather a production-ready framework that's already in use in high-traffic apps at TikTok. It doesn't power the main TikTok app where you would post your cringe dance videos, but it does power the search panel, TikTok Studio, and a bunch of other ancillary apps. I find this very interesting because ByteDance was one of the early adopters of Flutter and is still on the Flutter showcase today. In addition, if they wanted
they invested in Flutter. Okay, that makes sense.
Use web technologies to build mobile.
Flutter is another language that's is another programming language. UIs for apps and iOSs, right? It's basically back end or front end, sorry. Right. Front end development, because you're developing the UI, the look of basically the look of the phone when you open up the apps and stuff. Basically, you'd be working on you can't see it, but if you the stuff on your phone, just looking at it, that's what they would be working on. How humans like to look at shit, right?
Mobile apps, why not just use something like React Native, Ionic, or NativeScript instead of reinventing the wheel? Well, the unspoken reason is that creating new frameworks gives us developers job security, but the official reason in their blog post is mostly about performance. Throughout history, many people have criticized React Native for not feeling truly native, and that's because it relies on a single-threaded JavaScript bridge that allows JavaScript code to communicate with native code like Swift on iOS.
And if you don't properly load in certain things, it's gonna fucking break the whole thing. It's fucking weird. I had some issues with that too. It was really weird.
Or Kotlin on Android, but that single-threaded bridge is a big bottleneck that can create performance issues.
Are you saying there's something wrong with my gear? Is that what you're saying to me?
The React Native team has addressed this by building a custom engine called Hermes and released the Fabric renderer a few years ago, which some have called the new and improved bridge or a bridgeless architecture. But ByteDance has taken a different approach with Lynx using a dual-threaded architecture, where user code and framework code are split into 2 distinct runtimes. The main thread is powered by Prim.js, which itself is built on Quick.js, which is a tiny 210 kilobyte JavaScript engine. Its job is to handle synchronous UI tasks like event handling, while user code runs on a separate thread, which means the crappy, inefficient code you write won't block the main thread and degrade performance. And the end result is instant first frame rendering for the end user.
Yeah, you'd be working on stuff like this. Oh, actually, I can actually show off some, because I've been working on my fucking website stuff. Have fun looking at all this bullshit, though. It's fucking ass. Trying to fucking work through all this shit now. Well, actually, this is just fonting and stuff. Modulation stuff. background, font, colors, headings, right, nav bar, where is it? There it is. Boom. There you go. You can do shit like this. Alright. This. This. Alright. There you go.
Or in other words, no blank screens. That's pretty cool, but what's even more awesome is that this engine is framework agnostic. You don't have to use React and could build your app in Svelte, Vue, or whatever framework you want. In addition, it supports actual native CSS features for styling, like transition animations, variables, gradients, and so on. And that's a lot more intuitive for web developers. The major problem, though, is that there's virtually no ecosystem around this framework. There's no Expo tooling to solve all your problems, and there's no massive widget library like you have in Flutter. That being said, let's go ahead and try it out to find out if it has any potential. When you generate a project, the first thing you'll notice is that it uses RSPack, which is a Rust-based module bundler that's supposedly even faster than Vue. That'll generate a starter template in TypeScript, and if we look at the code, it looks like a basic...
There's other fucking coding languages I need to fucking study on too. Because there's, I don't know, because certain jobs require certain fucking languages. It's real fucking annoying.
Where the UI is represented with HTML and CSS. But if we take a closer look at the markup, you'll notice we're using non-standard elements like view, text, and image. These look like HTML tags, but they actually correspond to native elements on different platforms. Like view is UI view in iOS or view group in Android, but would translate to a div on the web. And what's especially awesome here is that we can use regular CSS or even Tailwind to style these elements, which is something you can't really do in React Native, although you could use tools like NativeWind. But now let's go ahead and run it. The easiest way to run it on mobile is to use the Links Explorer app, which allows you to live preview it on your phone. But when I tried to compile it on Windows, I immediately got an error. So I tried to switch to the Windows subsystem for Linux, and while it compiled, I could never actually get it to run on the Explorer app. So finally, I had to dust off my old MacBook, and everything seemed to work a lot smoother on macOS. And as you can see here, when I make changes to my code locally, it'll automatically re-render the demo on my phone. Impressive, very nice. I think Linux has a lot of potential. And that's bad news because it means I need to rewrite all my code with this shiny new object. At least I can review all that code automatically thanks to CodeRabbit, the sponsor of today's video, an AI co-pilot for code reviews that gives you instant feedback on every pull request. Unlike basic linters, it understands your entire code base, so it can catch more subtle issues like bad code style or missing test coverage. Then it will suggest simple one-click fixes to help you get things cleaned up quickly. CodeRabbit keeps learning from your PRs over time, so the more you use it, the smarter it gets. It's 100% free for open source projects, but you
basically in every coding languages, there's a bunch of back-end library stuff you can hook into your program or into your code if you wanted to. You don't have to, because with some languages you can just create some of the stuff from scratch, or you can use library specifiers to help you create what you want. Each is a valid approach. Custom approach just means you're more you like to manually do things, right?
Month free for your team using the code Fireship with the link below. This is
manual approach versus like interfaces and abstract classes and inheritance and stuff like that behind the scenes that you don't need to do yourself or make yourself.
This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
There we go. Oh no, what was that one? I fucked it up. Oh yeah, Dostoevsky. Great thinker as well. Oh yeah, I saw this one too. Yeah, I forgot about this one. Didn't show it off.
Some Georgians will lose access to their local Social Security offices soon because of the ongoing efforts to shrink the federal government. Those offices are in Gainesville, Columbus, Vidalia, Brunswick, and Thomasville.
Yeah, these are all the offices that were shady in Georgia. Who was it? Who's the politicians in Georgia? It's people we don't like. They're all corrupted. I wonder if they kicked them out. Oh yeah, oh god. Oh shit. Brian Kemp, Burt Jones, Chris Carr, Brad Raffensperger. Commissioner of Labor, Governor Brian Kemp, Georgia Senate. Who's in the Senate? Kim Jackson. Basically, these are all the senators from each district, I guess. State House of Representatives list. Dude, some of these people look like goddamn DEI hires. Sorry, I'm being fucking facetious. Alright.
With 5 offices in total closing, Georgia has been the hardest hit, according to Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock. He says the closures will be hardest on our state's senior citizens, especially in those more rural areas. The Social Security Administration is expected to lose 7,000 workers soon through layoffs.
So thank you very much.
Gentlemen's time's expired. Chair recognizes Dr. Fox from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mayor Johnson, in the last 4 years, how much has Chicago spent on care for illegal aliens?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. So since 2022, since the governor of Texas began
Just
shipping.
tell me a number. I don't need a speech. Just tell me a number.
So since 2022, since the governor of Texas was shipping individuals to cities across this country, the city's budget, roughly 1% of the city's budget over the course of 4 years.
As they say, as my grandkids say, Google it.
1%, it comes out to 625 million over the past 4 years, but according to those vendor payments, real numbers are even higher. also does not include the cost of migrants in leaving the city. Yeah.
Mayor Johnston, the same question, and I don't need a speech, just a number.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Thank you, Congresswoman. It's 79 million over the last 2.5 years.
Mayor Adams, same question. How much has New York spent to care for illegal aliens?
Uh-oh.
Approximately $6.9 billion went out of our taxpayers' funds.
Jesus! Jesus! I know, right? Holy fuck. God. Oh boy. Oh. Dude, I'd have, dude, my blood pressure would be so high hearing that shit.
1 minute. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm all out.
Mayor Wu, same question.
Holy
How much
shit,
has
man.
Boston spent to care for illegal aliens in the last 4 years?
We do not ask about immigration status and giving city services and providing that
she
access, so we
tells
do
him.
not have a number.
520. Jesus! What the fuck, lady? Dude, you guys are fucking cooked. Holy shit, all that money. All that money and you didn't help shit. Just think about that. All that money didn't help shit. Where did it go? Where did the money go, yo? Like what? What?
Taxpayers been bearing the brunt of the massive wave of illegal aliens who've entered the United
Holy fucking moly, dude. That's so expensive. You're looking at what? You're looking at 8 billion. You're looking over at 8 billion altogether. Like 8 billion altogether. Like what? 8 billion plus altogether. Like what the fuck?
States. The Biden
What the
administration
fuck?
seemingly declared taxpayers and hardworking Americans collateral damage in the pursuit of open borders.
What did you just say? No. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but I'd like you to apologize to my wife.
Fucking dead. Whoa. Oh, fucking pimp slapped.
God.
It's America last. It's America last. That's all it is.
I forgot what movie that was from.
If I'm live or not?
Oh. Why do I feel like Adams happily told that number? No, he has to play ball. He can't lie. He's under a lot of fucking pressure right now. I think dude, Mayor Adams is on. Dude, some of these guys are under a lot of shit. Like, especially Mayor Adams and Hochul. Holy fuck. Like, with all the shit that's been going on, oh boy. People are fucking upset. Oh shit. Legion. Oh yeah, that's what it was, right? Was that? Oh yeah, this one, yeah. It wasn't that great. It was kind of bad, right? It was a movie just for funs. It wasn't that great. What do we got for news here? Oh yeah, we could actually, let's look at ground news real quick. We haven't looked at ground news in a while. Seals 10 billion take private deal with Sycamore. Democrats asked for an investigation into whether Musk is using government position to influence advertisers. What do you mean? How is he going to use his government position? Oh, like somehow use Doge in some form or I don't know. Trump paused tariffs on Canadian goods until April 2nd after taking a similar step for Mexico. Except dismisses pro-Russia claims as garbage. Says Trump aims for peace in Ukraine conflict. House votes to censure Democratic Rep. Al Green for disrupting Trump's speech. U.S. to reportedly use AI to revoke visas of students it sees as Hamas supporters. Whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. U.S. announces... Yeah, the fact that there's actually some fucking Hamas supporters in this fucking country is like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you a fucking terrorist sympathizer? What the fuck? U.S. announced job cuts surged 245% in February on federal government layoffs. Canadian senator challenges Donald Trump Jr. to charity boxing match over bogus tariffs. Trump to order U.S. Education Department abolished. Report. Trump MSNBC, Nicole Wallace, Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Trump gives Hamas last warning to release hostages or there will be hell to pay. Trump signs order targeting law firm Perkins. Georgetown Law School defends practices amid U.S. attorney's DEI threat. Federal judge stops compounded copies of Eli Lilly weight loss, diabetes drugs. Oh. Social Security employees banned from reading news websites at work. Wait, what? What happened? Oh, because they're getting... Right, because they're afraid they're gonna get hit. Trump raises doubts about NATO's Mutual Defense Pact. Profound differences thwart Geneva meeting on protecting civilians in Palestinian areas. 3/4 of Jewish college students believe anti-Semitism is rampant on campus, poll shows. On my campus, I don't think so. It might be like UCLA. Well, there have been some shit over there, so. Amnesty says Israeli attacks on Lebanon health sector should be probed at war crimes. Oh, the funny thing is, I'm actually doing a research on this. Now that I think about it. So these are good articles. Alright. Oh, but I might have to... Well, I could probably use these articles. Because it's a major research project. Alright, I could probably use, like... Jewish Telegraphic Agency. Yeah, for school, I have to do a major research project on a UN conflict that's going around in the around the world, any conflict, and I gotta write like a 5,000 words or so. I don't even. It's a lot. It's a lot of words. Let's just say that. A lot of words. But yeah, I need sources basically, and some of these sources I could probably use. Three-quarters of Jewish college students believe anti-Semitism is rampant on campus poll shows. I don't think that's, well, that's up to them. 74% of Jewish college students believe that anti-Semitism is a serious problem. Could lead to hate crimes and violence against them as reported by the ICC. Yeah. Profound difference the work in Geneva meeting on protecting civilians in Palestinian areas. Switzerland, Geneva Newsday, Jerusalem Post. Well, let's get the Jerusalem Post. Oh, did I? Oh, shit. I forgot to save that. Amnesty says Israeli attacks on Lebanon health sector should be probed as war crime. Oh, because they're trying to get rid of, like, the Hezbollah people and whatnot. Yeah, conflict with Hezbollah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. The issue is, right, Israel's trying to push back so many fucking terrorist organizations in that fucking area is fucking insane. Right, that whole fucking area is a war zone. Oh shit, that's not what I want. Fuck. I saved it, so it's whatever. Extend TikTok ban deadline if deal isn't reached in time. Travel advisory issued by U.S. government to Turks and Chico's Islands. Suspect in Kansas City Chiefs fans deaths plead not guilty. Wait, what? Huh? Two men plead not guilty to the drug overdose deaths of 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans found in a yard after the game in 2024. What the fuck? Oh shit. That's insane. You idiots. You guys are cooked. They face charges of voluntary manslaughter and delivery of controlled substances as the case gained social media attention. Court records indicate the fans died from the combined toxicity of fentanyl, cocaine, and after partying together. Well, Willis's attorneys claims there is no evidence linking him to the purchase of the drugs used before the deaths. There you go. Judge ordered Trump admitted to pay nearly $2 billion in USAID and State Department debts. FAA halts flights to several Florida airports after SpaceX rockets testing failure. Judge upholds Slender Man attacks release from mental health facility. Huh? Trump signals he won't seek to change daylight savings time. It's a 50-50 issue. Oh, the daylight I mean, honestly, the fact that we're still on this weird... Well, I mean, the reason why we're on daylight savings and whatnot is because the other countries don't use it due to the fact of the sun. Right, they get much more sun than us. Like some countries, it's almost always day. Because of just the position of the sun. And where the geography is for that land. Trump signs executive order establishing U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. House Judiciary panel subpoenas Google YouTube parent company. Trump slashed teacher training, citing DEI. Educators say the grants fought staff shortages. Wyoming lawmakers override veto on law requiring ultrasound for pill abortions. Medical plane's voice recorder likely wasn't working for years before Philadelphia crash. No way. You mean they couldn't record people's voice on? They didn't fix it? Oh shit. Yikes. Missed information. That's not good. Alright, what do we got here? Develop run-on vibes, easily realistic AI, phase demo, spark amusement, discomfort online. Researchers supervised to find less educated areas, adopting AI writing tools faster. EMU. Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's the same with some people in my university. It seems like people are still kind of like sketched out by the using AI and whatnot. Even though like everyone knows people are using AI to get their work done. And it's a tool. Obviously, it's meant to fucking help you work through shit, but you shouldn't be fucking. Right, you shouldn't be relying on it. It's there to make your workflow easier. That's all it is. DMU research shows compression alone may unlock AI puzzle-solving abilities. Ooh. As a botnet that appeared overnight is delivering record-sized DDoSs. Yeah. All that shit coming. Top countries by bot count. Yep. Breakdown showed the largest concentration of IP addresses at 24.4% was located in U.S. Taiwan 70. Pie chart showing percentage of IP addresses by country. Botnet is much larger than what we're used to seeing in DDoS attacks. As we're not involved in DDoS prior to the last week. Most of the IPs are security cameras. Census links. High silicon. Source talk to Hikvision NVR2 so that the positive but not many area of expertise. A newly discovered network botnet comprising an estimated 30,000 webcams and video recorders. The largest concentration in the U.S. has been delivering what is likely to be the biggest denial of service attack ever seen, security researcher inside Nicoya said. Interesting. Although some botnets I see well over 100,000 devices. Most of the IP addresses participating, Nokia researcher Jérôme Meyer told me had never been seen engaging in DDoS attacks. Besides a 30,000 node of botnet seeming to appear overnight, another salient feature of 11 bot is the record-sized volume of data it sends its targets. Jesus. The largest one Nokia has seen from 1111 bot so far occurred on February 27 and peaked at about 6.5 terabytes per second. Jesus. The previous record for a volumetric attack was purported at January at 5.6 terabytes per second. That's a lot of data. Basically, they're shoving a lot of data all at once to crash your system, or to crash your network. Basically, sending a lot of responses or queries to that node. New VMware hyperjacking vulnerabilities are hard to overstate. Researchers surprised to find less educated areas adopting AI running tools. Yeah. Serbian student's Android phone compromised by exploit from Celebrite. Okay. What's in the cars? Volkswagen is testing its robot axis in snowy, icy Norway. Volkswagen gets the message. Cheap, stylish EVs coming from 2026. Protest broken windows, even arson. Tesla's massive Elon problem. Yeah, that's a weird one. Everyone's hating on Tesla, even though... Well, I mean, it's the other car companies that are trying to push out Tesla, really. Podcasting from prison. Oh, fucking no way. Fucking Voids. CoffeeZilla made a video on the fucking Sam Bankman-Fried podcasting with Tucker Carlson. CLA is good enough to make a believer out of EV skeptics. Culture. Andor, Netflix. Revolution starts now with Andor. After 50 years, our staffers pick their favorite Saturday Night Live sketches. Gaming. Literally just a hit iOS game accused of unauthorized HTML5 code theft. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Web game illicitly wrapped in a mobile shell climbed the paid app store charts. Uh-oh. Okay, anyways. May simply, may not. Yeah, I knew this was coming. I mean, there was writing on the walls. Fucking, a lot of people have been trying to go away from physical discs ever since fucking, right, the floppy disks, the small mini discs and all that. It was only a matter of time. Same with video game companies. Right. As right, Nintendo Switch, the new PlayStation or PS5s and stuff. Disc or discless. I mean, you can still get a disc one, but the disc one still costs a little bit more money, like 50 extra bucks or some shit. Well, it's 100 extra bucks for some reason, because it's like Blu-ray or some bullshit. Anyways, George Orwell 1984 as a 90s PC game has to be seen to be believed. Ooh. War is peace. Was ready to cover a classic dystopian novel 1988 with the same singular desire to inhabit the world book. The first-person puzzle adventure PC game that includes a zero-G training sphere for some reason. What? Huh? Okay. 1998 publisher MediaX set out to satisfy the widespread literary desire with Big Brother, an officially licensed sequel game set in the 1984 universe. Oh, that's cool. I made a whole little synopsis and everything. Here's the showcase. Why the fuck is he so small? Hmm. Screwdriver. Crumpled memo. Bottle. War is peace. What the fuck are those? Oh, they're rats. Oh, I thought they hurt him. I was like, what? Just turning shit. Doesn't even know what he's doing. Alright, and there it goes. Oh, looks interesting. There you go. Reviews, no, it's not a 4090 performance at 549. Gaming health. Norovirus vaccine hints at defusing explosive stomach bugs in eerily trial. Cod liver oil embraced amid Texas measles outbreak. Doctors fight misinfo. RFK Jr. ends transparency policy. Cancels public meeting after openness vow. Oh. Texas officials warns against measles parties as outbreak keeps growing. Doctors report upticks in severe brain dysfunction among kids with flus. Uh-oh. Unvaccinated school-aged child dies of measles in Texas amid growing outbreak. Uh-oh. Texas got fucking measles outbreak. Apparently. Starlink benefits as Trump admin rewrites rules for 42 bill program. Trump claims CFPB destroys people. Senators say killing it is a gift to Musk. CFPB, what is... oh, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Well, I mean, these people will be losing jobs. I mean, if that's what they mean. Google tells Trump's DOJ that forcing a Chrome sale would harm national security. Uh-oh. What are they hiding in Chrome? What did you guys do? Uh-oh. China aims to recruit top U.S. scientists as Trump tries to kill the CHIPS Act. I don't think he's gonna try and kill the CHIPS Act. Given what he wants to do, he wants to put facilities here and shit. So I don't think he wants to destroy the CHIPS Act. If anything, he would want to do the CHIPS Act. But then again, it would depend on if he wants to work with China on that still. Or maybe he wants to renegotiate the deal for the CHIPS Act. Elon Musk loses initial attempt to block OpenAI for profit conversion. Apple refuses to break encryption and seeks reversal of UK demand for backdoor. Yeah, they should fight this. You need to reverse that shit, Apple. You can't have that shit happen to you. You're gonna get fucked. That's not good, dude. That's not good for the consumer either. Alright, especially with what they're doing with freedom of speech, you essentially have no more freedom of speech in the UK anymore. It's turning into Germany land. Fuck it. I mean, it's been like that for like 4 years, right? Or for more than 4 years now, right? When Europe needed it most, the Airline 6 rocket finally delivered. Norovirus vaccine hints at defusing explosive stomach bug. Yeah. Prehistoric bone tool cache. It just advanced reasoning in early hominins. I'm getting exhausted. It's getting late. I should probably call it pretty soon because I got a lot of shit to work on. I got a project. Yeah, I gotta present some of my project. My AI research project. I need to work on that a little bit. Who gets ownership of useful genetic data? Woolly Misa test run for mammoth gene editing. Did these dual images say anything about your personality? I don't know. I forget, just as transfer policy. Okay. Nothing. Security. Oh yeah, so that one. Yeah, Copilot exposed private GitHub pages, some removed by Microsoft. Oh, oops. Whoopsies. Finally syncs to iOS. Here's how. Oh, North Korea pulled off. Oh, yeah. Alright. Cryptocurrency shit. A second attempt to land on the moon also went sideways. When Europe needed it most, the Ariane 6 rocket. Orion, sorry, 6 rocket finally delivered. Yes, we are about to be treated to a second lunar landing in a week. NASA just lost yet another one of its low-cost planetary missions. Will deliver quality science. Uh-oh. No, they're not getting the data they want. Jeff Bezos brings Amazon work culture to Blue Origin. Research shows compression alone. No one asked for this. Google is testing round keys and Gboard. What? Most intriguing e-tech gadget prototypes demand this week. Password offers geolocating help for bad apps that can constantly log you out. Will the future of software development run on vibes? I don't know. Who knows? Anyways. Nothing else. Okay. I got one more.
Fearing federal ICE agents could potentially raid classrooms to arrest undocumented immigrants. It is part of President Trump's recent order allowing federal immigration officials to make arrests.
There is now so much fear in New York City that local officials are conjuring up ways to hide people people from ICE, one of which involves making the locations of New York City's asylum shelters a complete secret. But doing this would make New York more than just a sanctuary city that doesn't care about one's immigration status. Instead, it would force our entire city to harbor the gang members and criminals ICE has come here to arrest.
I mean, we're already
officials are keeping a close
yeah,
eye
these
on
people are already
gang-related
harboring
all
them.
around the city. The NYPD's Detective Bureau is tracking the dangerous Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua.
They call this place the death shelter, said Angel. He was placed here at Randall's Island, but says from the moment he walked in, people told him to watch his back. Migrants we spoke to say they sleep with one eye open, fearing they will be attacked.
Police say their crimes are becoming more brazen. The members even posting their weapons on social media. I mean, look at this picture.
Originally from Venezuela, the gang has infiltrated city shelters, running illegal operations right under the noses of authorities. Randall's Island, where a large tent city has been set up to accommodate migrants, has become a recruitment hub for the gang.
There's actually a recruitment process, and this is the first time we've seen structure with Tren de Aragua, where people are recruiting these younger members.
Well, obviously they're setting up fucking
undocumented immigrants and also make threats to anyone who
obviously
might stand in the way. Immigration advocates are saying that not enough is being done to protect this community.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Not a lot of people know anything about security. I forgot about that. My bad.
Of New York City's leaders want to make the disclosure of its asylum shelters illegal. But what none of those in favor of this new idea will admit is that it's just going to make New York the #1 location for gang members and fugitives to hide themselves in America, if it somehow isn't already. Because over the last year, the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua has been coming here en masse, setting up shop inside the very shelters New York City's laws mandate it operate. Like the infamous Roosevelt Hotel, which has over 1,000 rooms and serves as a shelter, immigrant welcome center, and a gang hideout, with criminals allegedly using this facility to plan and commit crimes all over town. Something they get away with because as a sanctuary city, New York bans police from entering and patrolling its shelters to keep them safe. And with gang members smuggling weapons inside food delivery bags right through their front doors, these places aren't just where criminals live.
Yeah, that's a lot of
where
fucking
these gangs who specialize in human trafficking find new recruits and new victims to exploit. And even though many of these well-known facilities are slated for closure in the coming months, any new ones that open might be kept secret. Which brings us to the real reason hiding these places
I don't
is
know
such
if that's
a bad
garbage or
idea.
anything.
If terrible
Jesus.
people like gang members and criminals and possible terror watch list suspects are living in them, hiding them from ICE is not only going to make our city more dangerous, but it's also going to help these criminals continue to ruin it, while putting local residents in imminent danger without them even knowing it. Because with New York being a sanctuary city with a unique right to shelter rule, anyone who asks for a shelter bed gets one because it's their right, even if they intend to sleep in it after spending time in the back of a police car for theft, robbery, or assault. However, if ICE knows where these shelters are, our progressive leaders are afraid they might set up camp and make arrests. But as you're about to see, our leaders, they don't just want our shelters hidden from ICE. Oh no, they also want them hidden from anyone who might object to them, which means they've got to hide them from their own voters. So this right here is the Roosevelt Hotel. It's the most prominent shelter in New York City. Outside you can see a police tow truck. They're towing what looks like an abandoned or illegal vehicle. There's some stuff inside of it, like a bandana and a bunch of garbage along with a hat. But look around, this entire area, it's nothing but offices. We're near Grand Central Terminal, and thus when this place was set up over 2 years ago, there wasn't the type of neighborhood pushback that we're now seeing in the Bronx while the city tries to open another shelter that people know about.
Staffers at City Hall faced a grilling in the South Bronx from neighbors upset about plans to open a brand new migrant shelter.
I'm living this. I'm seeing this.
Things got worse when the mayor's chief of staff revealed the decision to open a 2,200-bed single men's shelter for newly arrived migrants was already a done deal.
So in the Bronx, the city plans to open a 2,200-person men's-only shelter, and neighbors are pretty concerned because they know that as a sanctuary city, no vetting is done before people are moved into some of these places, which is how they become so dangerous. And when you think about the impact criminal activity has on a neighborhood, look right here. Because this abandoned car with Massachusetts plates could be somewhere a person who's no longer allowed in this shelter is sleeping. It's happened before. But since there's nobody living in it, it also could be a stolen vehicle, which has been used to commit crime. And if you're a resident, the last thing you want is for a shelter to open up in your neighborhood and for it then to turn into a place that's always got police cars parked out in front of it. And even though the vast majority of people living in a place like this are not criminals and did not come here to join gangs, it only takes a small handful of people to ruin it for everybody because, again,
I mean, just look at California.
Here, which
it's the same with fucking New York.
What they can do. Something everyone saw when a facility similar to that coming to the Bronx opened on Hall Street in Brooklyn, housing 3,000 people, none of whom were vetted or went through background checks before moving in. In fact, last summer, after back-to-back gang-related incidents took place here, the city was forced to deploy an extra 14 police officers to the area in order to keep the peace. And people from the Bronx, they're not stupid. They know that this is coming to their area when that new shelter opens. Because New York is not a law and order city, and our police are prevented from doing their job inside these places, which would really benefit every community in town, including the people who live in these facilities. You've got families with little kids in some of these places. They don't want to live next to gang members. They don't want their families to be at risk, but they are, which makes you wonder who exactly is benefiting from these places.
What are we talking about? What's going on inside this hotel that is now spilling out into the Times Square area?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a recruitment process, and this is the first time we've seen structure with Tren de Aragua, where people are recruiting these younger members as young as 11, and they've been described as some of these.
So gangs, criminals, they're making themselves at home in facilities just like this one, and they're using them to grow their criminal empires and find new members. All of it for free. They don't have to pay to stay here. And of course, if you knew something like this was coming in your neighborhood, you would have questions. But our leaders, they don't want you to ask questions, so they want these places to now be kept a secret. So you see this car right here? It's got the yellow boot on it. The police are towing a whole bunch of vehicles in front of this hotel right now. This one over here has got the yellow device on the windshield. That's called a barnacle. You can't drive if you can't see. But this plan to hide asylum shelters,
or you can be like Mayor Adams and get pressure so much that you have to tell the truth.
It says here, as the federal government does its job by arresting people, the city thinks its mandate is to protect all of those individuals, even if some of these new neighbors are gang members who are a security risk to the people they live near. But the most frightening aspect of all of this is that if shelter locations are kept secret, and if they continue to be a haven for criminals because of our sanctuary city policies, none of the residents who live near these places will be able to take necessary precautions. Look at this. Just a few months ago, articles came out about how the gangs living at the Roosevelt Hotel were committing crime in Times Square, which is nearby. And although there's definitely an argument
you have
here
the
to
right
keep the residents of these places
too,
free from harassment and from unnecessary intrusion in their lives, how much dignity
still probably
and
some
privacy
stragglers
do
in
people
Colorado.
lose when just the location of the shelter is
These
made public?
motherfuckers
After
are all over the
taxpayers
goddamn
pay
United
for it, it is
States.
publicly funded. Shouldn't people know where it is if it's hidden and kept in the dark? How is anybody going to hold a place like this accountable for mismanagement? At the same time, the names of the individuals who live in these places, that's never released. And since many of these places are dual purpose as they offer services, there's no way to prove that someone who walks in the front door even lives there. If these places are hidden from the general public may end up being less safe.
This is the building right here that we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, some people give fake fucking addresses, right?
And take a look around. This is not
They're giving fake names, fake addresses, fake IDs. It's like, dude, you're really playing a dangerous game, eh?
So according to the television, people shouldn't be worried about security because this new facility opening in the Bronx is separated from the neighborhood near it by a highway and an overpass. But so are some of the city's other shelters, which have rather poor reputations for safety. Like the facility on Hall Street. It's almost identical in that it's a former co-working space on the other side of a highway and an overpass, under which police catch people doing all sorts of things that are against the law. On top of that, even though it's an industrial area, there are local businesses there there, and many of them have reported an increase in crime. And the nearby grocery store to this facility was particularly hard hit, and apparently people were stealing from the grocery store while still wearing their IDs to let them back into the Hall Street shelter. And look, are most residents of these places criminals? No. However, the city's inability to safely manage them because of our sanctuary laws, that adds an element of danger to this entire equation that no progressive who wants to keep these places hidden will ever admit. And if our leaders are telling people to relax because the new shelter is by a highway overpass or in a non-residential area, they're either ignorant of what's going on at some of the other shelters like Hall Street, or they're deliberately concealing it. Because anybody who watches the news knows that this stuff is going on. Anybody who's walked over by the Hall Street shelter and who's seen the ambulances and the constant police cars knows something's wrong. But if you thought people living near one of these facilities may have something to worry about, wait until you hear what the non-gang members who actually
When
live
you hear
in them
those
have to say
sirens, you
about
know
safety.
some shit went down. Honestly, I hear them like almost every day.
So here we are at the Candler Building. It's another one of the
Yeah,
city's
literally
shelters,
every
but
day.
it's already kind of a secret. It houses 400 men, and it's right here in the middle of Times Square, but the entrance, the main entrance right over here, they don't use that entrance. The back of the building is where all of the guests come and go. Unfortunately, you'll see there are some police cameras and lights set up. There's also large piles of trash back there which block the sidewalks.
but-
Perhaps they're moving furniture or things out of this facility. We don't know if it's slated to close yet. But this area where I'm standing is the location where 2 NYPD officers were first assaulted by members of this Tren de Aragua gang way back in December of 2023. And it was at that moment that the city started learning about the danger these gang members pose to all of us, especially those who have to live in these places.
18 people were arrested. They call this place the death shelter.
God damn, dude. What the fuck is with some of these police officers? I guess beggars can't be choosers. Shit. Big woman.
They call this place the death shelter, said Angel. He was placed
How
here
the
at
hell?
Randos
How
Island,
did you
but says from
pass the
moment he
standardized
walked in,
test for
people
fucking
told him
police?
to watch his
I guess
back.
she's one of those police officers that don't go out too much. And it's just
So
like
look at that. The majority of people
fucking
who live in
administrative
these
work,
places,
right.
they're under attack, all right, but not from Donald Trump. They're under attack from gangs that shouldn't even be here in the first place. In fact, the best thing to happen to any shelter in town would be for ICE agents to raid it and remove every criminal who they find inside, because these are the very criminals assaulting the people in these places who the city says are vulnerable and who says we need to take care of. But now we've got local officials who want the locations of these places to be a secret. They're not advocating for ICE to go into them and remove the criminals. No, instead, they just want all the places we know about to close so that they can reopen new hidden facilities where
Yeah.
these gang members have another advantage on everybody else.
Pretty
Really,
much.
if you're a gang member and you want to live someplace where the state is going to support your
I mean, it's
criminal
like that
activity, what more
woman
could
who
you
got
ask for?
evicted
We're already releasing many of these
from
folks
her
when they
own
commit
home
robbery
because
or
of the
assault, since those have been
fucking
decriminalized.
the
and when these gang
squatter
members get
laws
caught with weapons,
in-
oftentimes the
what was
charges
it,
are
New York?
dropped because apparently
finally
they've
got
got
her
no
house
U.S.
back.
criminal record, and now these gang
But yeah,
members might
they
get
already
the
did so much
opportunity to
fucking
hide
damage.
from ICE, living in secret locations for free. If that happens, it's going to be even more of a public safety nightmare for people out on the streets and for the non-gang members who live in these facilities.
Originally from Venezuela, the gang has infiltrated city shelters, running illegal operations right under the noses of authorities. Gang members disguise themselves as food delivery workers, riding mopeds and carrying delivery bags filled with weapons, allowing them to commit crimes while hiding in plain sight.
So according to this report, the gang members masquerade as delivery drivers and use their delivery equipment that they'll carry when they're riding a bike to drop off food to smuggle weapons inside these facilities. And if this turns out to be true, it means that some of the bikes parked out behind this building could be used by criminals to commit crime. However, keeping the locations of publicly funded shelters a secret isn't the only way our local officials could frustrate frustrate ICE and stop them, or at least try to stop them. What they could do is, instead of having separate shelters for asylum seekers and homeless New Yorkers, some activists have put forth the idea of merging the two separate shelter systems into one. Then, if ICE were to raid a facility, after entering, they would find a mix of people, some who have immigration violations and others who are U.S. citizens. Right now, that's not how things work, and both of these ideas exist because activists just have this idea that consumes their mind that ICE is here to conduct mass deportations when that's not what they're doing, and that's not what they say they have any plans to do in the future.
Prende Aragua uses fear tactics to strong-arm migrants into joining, threatening their families back home if they resist. For those who refuse,
Well, I mean, you have the politicians not helping the cause either, right? Because they keep fucking misconstruing the shit. So that's fun. And now you have to deal with these guys doing the weird shit, and now you have to deal with everyone being fucking weird about it. Well, at least those people being weird about it when you're literally saying, "Hey, I'm looking for the criminals. Stop it."
enemies of the gang. The gang preys on vulnerable young migrants, forcing them into criminal activity. Many members are as...
Why do we want to pay for people like this to secretly live in our city
Yeah, I don't
while
know.
ruining it? Do
Ask
our
your
leaders
politicians.
really hate the new president that much that they'd be willing to fund a criminal
don't
enterprise
know.
that's
Ask your
growing
politicians.
right here, ruining life for all of us, especially the people who they live near in these facilities. These gangs like Trende Aragua, they're human exploiters. And once they enter these places, they start looking around at how they can use the human capital they're surrounded by to benefit them, forcing people to commit crimes, shoplift, rob people, and forcing others to sell stolen products on the sides of the street.
Yeah,
Who's
all
going to protect
stolen,
the
by the way.
immigrants that live in these shelters from the immigrant gangs that are living in them as well? Has anybody ever thought about that? Because ICE could sure protect them. They would get rid of the criminals. And if our leaders were really concerned about protecting vulnerable immigrants, they'd cooperate with ICE. They would turn over
Correct.
these gang members. And you know something? New York could be the safest big city in America for immigrants, but it doesn't want to be. Instead, it wants to be the safest place for criminals, which is why
yes.
it's helping them and why our leaders
Correct.
now want to keep the locations
It's
of places
for the
where criminals might
criminals,
live
just
a
like
complete
California.
secret. What do you think about that? Is that a good idea? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
I mean, just look at what happened with Gavin Newsom and voter ID shit. And then he goes on his fucking podcast to be a fucking weirdo, too. With Charlie Kirk, dude, Charlie Kirk cooked. The dude ran into so many fucking traps. It was fucking. Gavin Newsom is definitely fucking. He's corrupt. He's shady as fuck. Like, if you do not tell him to right, if you do not pressure him to right, you need to pressure this fucking asshat. Like, you to fucking find all the dirt on him and make him fucking pay. Alright, I think I'm gonna call there. I gotta go. I'm getting tired and I got schoolwork to take care of when I wake